Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Corey. It's Lawrence. It's the DIZPod.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Oh, that's right. Hello and welcome, everyone, to DIZPod number... Lawrence, I think I'm back to guessing. DIZPod number 54.
I think we're at 56.
All right, then. I'd rather be ahead or behind, depending on how you look at it. Got my Christmas shirt on today. I was wondering, what will Lawrence go with today? It's like a little inside game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going Christmas today. He'll probably go Christmas too, but looks like you didn't hit that route, but you got a nice shirt on there, my friend.
I went red. I did have my Christmas shirt. I do have that blazer, for that infamous blazer. I almost went that route, but I went red. Red and yellow.
That blazer needs to go on the wall and framed. That's classic. That's real classic.
That is a classic. I want to have it again next year.
Yes. Are you going to Jollywood this year?
I think I am.
We're going to see. That means we need to get together on a date on that then.
Yes.
Because I am committing to every Disney party that's out there.
Okay.
Let's just do it. We're doing, and we might do more than one. We might do. I'm edging towards 2 Halloween parties. Edging towards. If I'm doing Jollywood though, it might be Jollywood and a Christmas party, but leaving that open as well. So, yeah, we'll see. Welcome everyone that are watching, listening live. We do this live because we do it for you. And Catherine Silverio says in chat, "OMG, that blazer! That blazer's legendary, right there." So we might have to make that a YouTube short as we get closer to Christmas. Like this is how you dress.
That's right.
For the Mickey.
Here's required dress for Jollywood nights. You have to have a blazer that is terribly sewn. Yes. It was not sewn by Catherine.
That's true. It wasn't on purpose, right? It's almost like if you're going to do it, then maybe I have to get a blazer to contrast with you.
Well, now that might be
that. Yeah. All right. We'll have to talk about that. Lawrence, why am I wearing a Christmas button down today?
Because your calendar is wrong.
Oh, well, it is July. And I love Christmas in July. I love Christmas in February and March and April and every other month as well.
I was just trying to think. I haven't listened to any Christmas music lately. No, I take that back because I did just today on my way, and I was listening to the video that I recorded from 2017 of
Oh,
a concert that I was at. Yeah, a
oh,
little concert. Yeah. They got
okay.
lights and fog and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Fire,
Fire.
fire, yeah, fire, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's funny. That is very, very funny. So, yeah, it's Zak Stevens week.
Yes. Very excited. I have been excited for this since Zach and his wonderful wife, Catherine, responded to my inquiry, we'll call it. And it has just been so exciting ramping up to having Zach on the show tonight. One of my favorite bands. I have seen them in concert more than any other concert. The only other person I've seen quite a bit is Harry Connick Jr., who I've seen 3 times. But TSO we have seen every year straight since 2017, including buying the 2020 home version because they did not perform in 2020 live, but they did a we'll ask Zach about that, but they merged the 2 parts of the band together to do an online version. So yeah, one of my favorite bands, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and Zak Stevens is with us tonight to talk about his Disneyland Halloween half marathon run for American Cancer Society. So very excited tonight.
It's always great when we can bring in people that are in the entertainment industry that also love Disney. I love that. And, you know, it's great when no matter what you do, all walks of life, we can find a common ground with Disney. So,
And you know what's great about this is he told me that so we obviously we're going to interview him, right? But it's you and I, so it's not really, you know, we're not
we're going
talking
to
for a minute,
conversate.
right? Exactly. But he also has questions for us.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. So we'll get all into that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. People don't ask us too, well, yeah, when we have guests, they don't ask us too many questions. So
Yeah.
maybe we should start having some guests
That's right.
bring some questions on
I like that.
to
Yeah.
ask us. Yeah.
So if you are not familiar with Zak Stevens or Trans-Siberian Orchestra, let me give you a little bit of his work. So not only was he in Trans-Siberian Orchestra, but they started in Sabotage before that. And this is actually a Sabotage song that they play during the concert. Ladies and gentlemen, Zak Stevens.
Woot woot.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the DIZPod.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Lawrence. Thank you so much, Corey.
Thanwas coming in.
I was getting all crazy into that, you know, that song from originally Sabotage, but that was, they say that was originally the first, we guys in the band say that was like the official first TSO song, even though we didn't really know it at the time that it came out. 94.
94.
That was, released on Sabotage. So that one took a while to come back around, but it's great. It's a perfect song for TSO, and I'm glad we got to stick it in there. That was 2017.
Yeah,
on that one. So that brings back a lot of memories.
What do you think about when you're watching yourself on stage and you're performing like that? Are you critiquing? Are you just enjoying, reminiscing?
I think a little of everything. You know, you're listening. You're kind of hoping for, you know, You want it to be on point. You're rooting for yourself. Come on, get this. And but you're living it, again. So that's the part that gets me every time. Like I almost like, get zoomed straight to that moment, like somebody beam me up, be right there, on stage, like the thing that everybody in the band enjoys. I mean, we got 32 band members in 2 different coasts bands. So really you think of it as 32 people doing twin shows. And that's what all 32 of us are out there to do, is to try to, reach. You got this, arena crowd, and you're trying to just hope the music just reaches out and grabs each and every person in there. When I'm singing like that, I'm kind of like singing to the back row, that I try to, because if you can perform all the way up to the nosebleed seats, and you can try to look a couple of people dead in the eye up there for, a couple of times or more, then you're going to be able to capture the people. I mean, we have a tendency to look at the people in the front a little bit. You're going to do that naturally, but I try to tell everybody, hey, if you're a singer, try to perform to the back, and then that power, will project across the entire, arena, and you'll, and I think you have a chance to reach a lot of people that way. So that's kind of just something I do.
Wow.
Some people just sing, right? And some people perform. And to me, that's a real performance in the style of it looks like a Broadway show when you're performing, to me. So you're not just singing the words, you're feeling the words, you're projecting a feeling. Have you ever done anything, like a musical, or kind of think, wow, I'd like to do that, or it'd be cool if I had a chance?
I was in the drama club a couple of years in high school. So here we go. But we did Bye Bye Birdie as the play. And it's more of a Broadway thing. And it's, the character plays somewhat of like an Elvis-like character who does get drafted into the army. And, he's a singer that's taken away, has to come back. And I think it was really patterned after Elvis's life in some sort of way here or there. But that was the only one I ever did, and played the lead part and got to sing, some of the songs in that one. And that was it. So that was really the closest I've come to being, doing Broadway type stuff. Did not kind of got involved in the rock bands, and therefore didn't really get to go into a lot of those productions where you would say, hey, I think Broadway's the thing for me. I like acting, but we do what we do in TSO, we like to refer to as rock theater. So we're doing that in TSO. So I'm real happy about that everything I didn't really get to pursue in that realm, I'm actually able to pursue it a little bit in TSO. Every song, including Chance, has a character, and has somebody telling that story. In the case of Chance, it's a storyteller telling the story of a guy who was the Japanese ambassador to Germany back during World War II, who secretly helped many, many Jewish people escape from the terrors of the Third Reich and the Nazi party at that time, through many years, even up until the late 30s, all the way through the war. So a lot of people didn't really know what he was even doing. And he was the ambassador who wound up later getting fired because he wasn't really supposed to do that. But that was already after the war was over. So it didn't result in him getting, punished by the Japanese government too bad. I mean, he was kind of exiled a little bit, but able to live out his life and really end it as a hero. So that was the story behind that one, that particular album. Wow. Just a guy who was just doing what he probably thought was very little, in a huge, terrible situation, but will go down as a hero for doing it.
So are you saying like each album tells a full story?
Well, sometimes they do. We have some albums that have the full concept. And then you have albums like Handful of Rain, which is the album that one appeared on, where you have different songs that have different stories. In that one, it is not a uniform story all the way through. It contains several songs that, have absolute stories to them, like Chance. And then you have some songs that we had stories behind that are not very well publicized. And so we have those kind of records, like Edge of Thorns, my first record with the band. It was had songs that had stories, but not one fluid, complete story. And then when you get to a band like a record like Dead Winter Dead, which is where the first single that that TSO ever had, Sarajevo 1224, appeared on, which was a record about the breakup of the former Yugoslavia because of the Balkan War in the mid 90s, or the early 90s to mid 90s when it ended. So that was just a piece of the story, one piece or one chapter in the entire album that was totally dedicated to that subject. So we have them full concepts and ones that aren't.
That's cool. So here's the thing. When we attended the first showing of Luminous in Epcot, I don't know if you've seen the show in person yet, or okay. We didn't quite grasp the concept of the whole story. Do you feel like a lot of your audience that comes in who doesn't already know the album by heart will grasp the story within the show and leave with that message?
They can, because of the fact that we have the multimedia presentation. We're going to be able to put enough up there on the screens, on our HD screens that we have, sometimes up to like 28 of them, that come together in one big piece, or can be separated into smaller, each being their own thing that they're showing, completely different images. So I think with us being able to have that advantage of the full multimedia show, that we can. Are you going to know the entire thing by just seeing a few hints of characters on the screen? Probably not, but you'll be able to get an idea. So we have that we use that for that specific purpose.
And,
so
Brian on the east side, you have Brian, as the narrator, who does a phenomenal job of telling the story as well.
Yes, he's our bus mate. As a matter of fact, we got some male singers and Brian in our bus. That's who everybody's assigned their bus, and I've gotten to know him so well. I came in full-time touring in 2015. So ever since then, I like sitting with him and talk about, because he's an actor. And so I'm very interested in acting, but I never really got into it. I just, I love movies and I love the whole thing, but it intrigues me because it seems very difficult to me to be an actor. Everybody doesn't really think about that, but it's hard enough to go up there and put a little acting in and sing it along with a song, but you have the benefit of the vocal to almost, kind of give people another distraction. It's not like pure acting, like go do this, but he does that. Mm-hmm. And he's told me a lot of great stories. We got onto something about, we'll talk about commercials that have famous actors, like Ving Rhames does the, we have the meats.
Yeah.
So he does Arby's. And we got talking about that one. I said, I love that guy's voice. And I like some of the movies he's been in, like Con Air, and some of the movies that Ving Rhames has been in, mostly, stuff where it's action and a lot of action going on. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, well, that's one of my great friends from acting school, we went to school together. I'm like, but wow. You guys talk just like. When you think about the voices, that's kind of, it's not exactly alike, but yeah. But no, Brian is incredible, and he's been doing it so long that he basically has like 3 or 4 different complete stories of shows that have been. We have like maybe 3 or 4 stories we've told all together. We do it, some year after year, and then we switch it up. I'm not really sure what we're doing this year. We may switch it up, but he's got them all memorized anyway. I mean, wow. So if you're telling a more, story off of, the Christmas Attic.
Christmas Attic, yeah.
Then he got that. If you want to do Ghost of Christmas Eve, which is the one you guys were talking about, I think at the very beginning of the show before I came on. You were talking about the simulcast that we did in the COVID year where the music business shut down, so we couldn't really tour. So we did the live stream. So he's there. He's telling it right there. We, kind of like got, out of 32 people, we said, all right, we got to get everybody down to like one of the bands. So that's what they did. That's what we did for the live stream, which was good to keep it out there. Everybody did a great job. But yeah, that's the Ghosts of Christmas Eve is that story, which we've done a lot of times. And there's a lot of music encompassed in that too. We can switch out the set list and have almost like 7 or 8 songs that we can kind of like, oh, nope, let's go grab some more. And they still fit in great with that theme. So that's been a good one. And, the story is the first half of the show where we do the complete story of Brian. Then what is the second half? All out jam.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest hits of TSO. And that's when we might throw in some Sabotage songs, whatever they, choose to do. That's probably when that part comes in.
And you've always been on TSO East. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Which works out good because sometimes I get to play my hometown, like last year. And we'll come to the, Colonial Life Arena on the USC Gamecocks campus where I went to school. And that's always fun to come through and see all the Gamecocks logos and stuff. We play the arena where our basketball teams play, including the national champion Lady Gamecocks.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that national champion currently.
That's right. Be proud.
Yeah, that's good. And so that's a really neat place. You know what? That place, we had this thing like, you saw the show, like Lawrence. I appreciate, gosh, you've been supporting us for so long. I really, really appreciate it. We had, remember the snow globe last year in the back of the arena where
Natalia was in there. Yeah.
Yes. So proud of her.
Yeah.
And she's just did so good. You know what? That globe back there, you'll play a place like Washington, D.C., where the Capitals play, the hockey team, and that place is underground and it's so huge. That globe back there looks like that. When you're on stage, and that is a wonder right there of how they built that, because that entire arena down there is underground.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's below street level, the entire thing, yet it's one of the biggest ones we play. I'm like, okay, this is like architecturally speaking, quite the undertaking.
Yeah,
people don't realize that entire thing is like, till you go down there. When you come out, you're going up. I mean, we have to follow the buses out of there. They get on ramps and all the trucks go out these ramps. So we're like, go all out to the street because it gets so busy down because you're parking underneath. So it gets so busy that we can't always just get on the buses. We have to let them go out to the street, park on the street, then get in. So that was one of the ones we have to do right there. But yeah, you'll see that. But then you'll play Columbia. Then I'm looking at the snow globe and it looks like they could just set that thing right here on stage. It's almost like I could reach out.
Yeah.
So that's a lot closer in that arena because it's like a lot more smaller and efficient. I mean, but the sound is great because it's kind of like, but it's one of the smaller ones we play, but it's good to do a hometown gig.
So Angelina here asks, do you have a favorite place to play?
Ooh. Well, they all have their advantages. We kind of, I guess I can say, put one criteria on, which is how loud is the crowd and how boisterous, and where are these boisterous crowds located? And from what I've witnessed, the most boisterous of the crowds is, believe it or not, in the Carolinas. Charlotte is a good one.
Okay.
And you know what? We play a little place like around Atlanta in I'm trying to think what that county is right outside. They got a lot of energy. And I tell you what, Michigan, the gigs in Michigan, Detroit and a couple other ones that we play, for some reason they're very loud.
Okay.
And I don't know what it is about that area. I would think that Pittsburgh would come, but they're not quite as loud. But we have more shows in Pennsylvania than any other state. Pennsylvania is our number one state supporter as far as shows, because we literally will have 10 to 12 shows in the state of Pennsylvania. You'll have 5 stops or 6 stops with 2 shows each. So we got to thank the state of Pennsylvania, because they're like, that's where we play. That's probably the most shows that anyone, either West Coast or East Coast band, plays in one state. So I don't know what it is about Michigan. And I don't know what it is about the Carolinas, but we know about that, Lawrence. We know that North Carolina gets crazy. And if you hit Columbia on a Friday or Saturday night, look for crazy stuff to be happening out there. If you hit it during the week,
that energy?
I don't know what it is, but on Friday and Saturday night, the Carolinas, they get loud. Every other day of the week, they're not, probably not having as many beers or whatever, and they're just they just need to work the next day.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you feed off that energy?
Yeah. Everybody likes playing to the arena crowd who's in the band. I mean, that's obviously why some people are probably there. They got gigs, but they don't get to play the arena, and they want to be able to get on that stage and keep that, to keep that up.
Sure.
Because it's a little bit of an edge that you want to, it's a different type of thing, and you want to be able to, that's when you have your most projection, your biggest, you're putting on the show. So yeah, we definitely feed off of it. But we feed off of it whether or not, I'm talking about, which one's the loudest. It doesn't have to be super loud. It doesn't have to be, it can be anywhere. And, we're going to feel that good energy coming off the crowd. Absolutely.
Cliff Licks has a couple of questions too. And if you love the Disney World, Disneyland, nighttime spectaculars, no one does it better than this guy. You want 8K, super surround sound. Check out Cliff Licks, because nobody can touch him.
Oh yeah,
he's so good that Disney has, if I'm correct, Disney has reached out to him and talked to them. How do you do what you do? So he's that good.
Yeah. Where does he do this at?
YouTube.
I'll send you his link.
Yeah.
Oh, good. He's asking. Yeah, he's asking a question.
Yeah. He says, let's see, who were your early influences? By chance, was Midnight one of them? Also known as Crimson Glory.
He mentions that, a band from Tampa. Yeah, he was. To me, he was a lot like Jeff Tate, who sang for a band called Queensryche. Midnight, and they had similar tones. Now, do I have that? No, I'm a little bit more. The range was higher. I like Ronnie James Dio myself, coming along, and I liked, like Black Sabbath, and I like Whitesnake, David Coverdale. I'm a little bit more like David Coverdale than I was going to ever be like a Midnight, which was from the band Crimson Glory, which was a metal band from Tampa. And I think they just a few nights ago, not very long ago, they had a tribute to Midnight. I think he passed away, or something, but they had a huge tribute night to him, and a bunch of rock stars from all over the place I saw that came to the venue to pay tribute. So he was definitely an influence. But yeah, my voice is a little bit more second tenor, baritone, but I can hit extremely high notes. So the thing about the trick with my voice is I sing these days more like in the upper baritone, or I can go real low, but I sing like baritone or second tenor, what we call second tenor. Not really the first tenor, not as high as the first tenor part. But however, there's this break in there where if I want to let out like go off and hit a high note in my falsetto range, you can ask any of the guys in the band. I'm the champion. I don't know what it is. It gives me something like over 4 octaves of range.
Wow.
I always tell everybody, range doesn't really mean to anybody can sit down at piano and go, hey, look at this. Or, whatever. Range is not really anything unless you're, out there singing and you're out there, doing it right and taking care of your voice and you're out there performing and stuff. So if you get somebody who can actually sing real good and then they tell you that they got a 4.5 octave range and you're like, holy moly. But yeah, that's just what's been strange about my voice. I don't know. When it comes to like high screams like Judas Priest or something like that, I can nail every one of them. Like, but mainly in TSO where we're singing like the rock theater stuff, there's not a lot of room for going and hitting a, high scream right there. So I'm mostly just, right there in that Broadway, tenor range on my songs, I sing them in the original key, whatever they were written in, whatever they were performed on the record, that's what I'm singing it in. So you don't have any questions about that. For tuning wise, it's always the same. So they're going to pick songs that are well within your range anyway, that, and if it's not, we fix it and we put it right in what we call the sweet spot, of every singer. So, but I don't really have to change that much. I guess it's just because they pick songs that are already right there in that key, or they could have been something that was, like I said, we were talking about that one song, Christmas in the Air. That was a Christmas song originally written for Sabotage, written before the existence of TSO, then we never got to it. So then they brought it back, and I'm sure that song was originally written for my key because it was during the time that I was singing in Sabotage. So the original singer, John Oliva, who writes a lot of the music for TSO, he was the original singer for Sabotage, wrote most of the stuff for my voice. So I'm sure that it was in there when he was writing that one because it's one of my keys. Just guessing.
Cliff Licks also wants to know, he says, the Wake of Magellan is truly epic concept album story. What does Zach think of that?
Oh, man. Wake of Magellan. We have shown the graphics of Wake of Magellan during that song Chance that you put up there, Lawrence. And the ship? That ship is the album cover for Wake of Magellan, which does have a theme to it. It's got some songs that kind of fall outside of it that have their own story, but the majority of the story is about a merchant ship where people who work on it were taken captive and held hostage and eventually killed. And then there's nobody to try the case because they're in international waters, very difficult to adjudicate, and they wind up getting thrown out in the ocean with no recourse.
Wow.
This was happening a lot at one time, 20 years ago or so. And it was happening on several different ship lines, and it was bad. So we had to bring they were trying to bring attention to it. And, you'd never know if you were to get on a big, cargo ship to work, if that was going to get turned on you. And next thing you know, you're kept in a dungeon on the ship and never heard from again. Nobody can try the case because you're in international waters. So that was kind of like the bulk of it. And then we had a few others that were, different, political stories that were happening at the time, maybe around the world. But Wake of Magellan is great. My band Circle to Circle, we actually were able to, and I so super thankful to the Sabotage people for this. We were able to do an entire live album of the whole Wake of Magellan album in my other band at Wacken, where Sabotage and TSO went on to play in 2015 to one of the largest crowds they'd ever seen. We played in front of 90,000 people with TSO and Sabotage at the same time. It was the first time we took their split stages. They have two main stages sitting beside each other. It was the first time in the history. At that time, it was 26 years old. It's the largest open air metal concert festival in the world, and they had never fired up both stages at one time. So Paul O'Neill, who always came up with a really great idea, he said, you know what, we're going to be the first one to fire it up at the same time. We're going to start it out with Sabotage on one stage, then we're going to move it over to TSO songs on the other stage, and then we're going to go boom. Guys from Sabotage on your stage, that was us. Guys for TSO on the other stage, and we're going to do duets and stuff like that, going between singers singing different lines, going back and forth singing our old songs. So it was wild. We got it all. We'd been thinking there had been some thought about putting it out. There still may be thought about putting that out since we have the really good footage from it, filmed from really highly professional groups and that were there. And hopefully I'll see it out there sometime. It's really magical if you could, see what went on and it was really getting TSO more familiar in Europe because TSO's not as big in Europe, whereas Sabotage was huge in Europe. So we had these two entities. We got the Sabotage thing where very, very popular in Europe. They're just asking us every month, when are you getting back together? When are you doing it? So we're trying to get all that together. But then you got the TSO contingent where they tried to break, had a few tours over there, but it just didn't really ring the same with the European crowd. I don't know if it's because everybody over there is raised up with classical music is just sort of a way of life for Europeans. I mean, especially, like in Germany, I mean, all the, many of the most famous classical composers are from Germany, Austria, places in Europe. So maybe they don't look at classical music the same, as we do when we put all that classical music together with, known Christmas music, which a lot of it happens to be in the classical era. And we put the rock guitars to it and we put the rock band to it. That really resonates in America. It does in Europe, but not to the biggest extent. But if we kept pounding the rock over there, we could do it. But it's just so expensive to take something like an entity like, and you see, we have like something like, gosh, I'm thinking 53 trucks that we have to somehow divide down into like 27 or 31 of them per band and get to move all the sound, lighting, lasers, all of the automation, the moving lights, the stage itself, and the sound system, which is from Canada, the company. So, and the pyro, that all has a few trucks itself. So wow. So it's wild when I'm sitting out. Sometimes I can be in a place where I can actually sit and count the trucks out. On days off, they're already kind of gone to the next place, but before they head out, like earlier, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's something like 30 something, 53 footers, 53-foot trailers.
Sounds like our Christmas totes in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the same problem. I'm trying to figure out where in the world to put 2753 pods. Exactly. Is you can't even get there with the word pods. I mean, this is like pods times 1,000.
Yeah,
like, would be 1,000.
We got the same problem. Like, but yeah, just especially since 2020, the price of going and touring in Europe for American bands has quadrupled, and in some cases more, because the cost of the diesel went up, the cost of the bus companies went up, the cost of everything, the cost of transportation to get over there. So we've been riding the music business is still riding a wild, wavy storm that has not calmed down yet. It's for people like yours truly who like to travel, and go over there and play. And now you got to really be careful about it because you don't want to lose thousands of dollars. So you just have to it's getting a little better. I think I'm at the point now where I can actually go do a tour in Greece and Cyprus and that kind of thing that I'm talking to some people about. But it's just now kind of opening up. So how about that? It's been wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Let us know how much longer we have you for, because we haven't touched on your Disney stuff or anything. Time flew. This is like the fastest podcast ever.
I know. Wow. And the thing is, I'll ask you a few questions. And somebody else came in with a question. Benjamin Burton, what's my favorite food?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's the tough one, right?
You're asking people who love Disney about that? We have like I've got 3 cookbooks that are Disney produced alone.
So who cooks, you or Catherine?
Catherine is amazing. She's half Greek. She is more than 50% Greek because her dad's 100% Greek. So she can cook up a storm with Mediterranean food, especially. So she cooks very healthy Mediterranean type stuff, but pretty much anything. She's a great cook. I don't do a lot. I assist. I'm like the sous chef. I have to not get past my yellow line that's drawn in the kitchen. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So we talk about health, right? What do you do to keep yourself vocally at your best? Because that's your tool.
Yes. Well, you got to be, especially with doing what I'm doing for the race here with training and everything, is great. Running, without getting hurt, do it smart, stretch out real good. Stretching out all over the place. Stretching is good for vocals, period, whether or not you're getting ready to run or not. Now, we've got all these stretches that are vocal stretches that I do almost specifically for vocals. That's before every show, just to get, I think a ritual is good. It kind of puts you in the right headspace. So when you stretch out really, you start to feel a little relaxed, and you just have these things you do. Not a lot of vocal work. I don't really do a lot of vocal scales or whatever you say, vocal leases and stuff like that before going. I just want to make sure that I'm like Linda Ronstadt, they used to say, the woman that never warmed up, and yet you listen to her voice and she's quite incredible. But it's a known fact in the business that she never warmed up. But she did do like stretches and kind of like a body warm up, so you can feel it when you're ready to go, you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like there's some kind of problem, which you're just hoping and praying all the time, then there's not a lot of room for problems and sickness in the vocal world. Anytime you have any of that, it's going to be tough. You may be able to get through it, but most times it's kind of like you just don't want it to happen, because it's just hard to come out the other side. Because if you're having to struggle and you're stressing, or you're having to push in some area, then that's going to manifest itself the next day. So every day is different. I always tell people every day in the vocal world is different. And the days of what I teach vocals too from time to time. I have a good many students, and I have one guy goes, man, I've been looking for that perfect vocal day for a while now. Like just trying to feel, go to the show and feel perfect. I said, well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I used to feel that same way until I had somebody who really knew what they were doing go, there is no perfect vocal day. Every day is going to have something going on that you're going to have to overcome. If it's not a sickness itself, then you will be able to overcome it through preparation, or something's going to feel a little tickly. So there's not, as soon as you get past the mentality of there's going to be the perfect vocal day, then you're in better shape, because the fact is there will not be. You'll be lucky to get one. I think I probably, what I thought, kind of felt, I think I've had like 2 of them in 35 years in the business. So there's always going to be something, but if you do your ritual, stretch out, do the stuff you need to do to feel good, vocal stretches, stretching out the lower back, getting where you can expand your lower back. In the back is a huge expansion point for your bringing air, with the breathing with your diaphragm. And so you just got to, kind of like do that. And as far as, anything, people are going to ask about, what about drinking? What about, no, alcohol is not any good at all for vocals. As a matter of fact, smoking cigarettes is probably like the number one worst thing in the world for vocals. So bringing any kind of smoke down past the area, bad. You pretty much have to be straight as an arrow. And such as myself, straight, very straight, and very nice to everybody all the time. No, I'm serious. I am. Oh, you guys laugh. You don't think I'm nice to everybody.
Well, that doesn't speak to the rock and roll community, especially back in the 60s, 70s, and all that. Like, you figure, sex, drugs, rock and roll, smoke, all that stuff. So, I mean, those guys were able to really overcome some things, huh?
Yeah. Well, when you're young and stuff, if you're Led Zeppelin, yeah, you're probably going to be partying stuff, and you're not going to be able to tell them not to. Is it good for what you do? No. Yeah. But when you get to a certain age, then you have to really start, that'll really affect you more and more. I guess I'm speaking for somebody who's in the late 50s, who, can't really afford to, did I, do a little bit, have a few drinks when I was in the 20s and so, okay, yeah. But it's a whole different story at that point. You're a lot more, you got a lot more stamina to overcome, so these days it's more about quality, especially in TSO, it's all about quality. So we put the focus on the quality and let everything else dictate that. And you'll be fine. Because it is that way. We don't, what you see with TSOs live, when those singers got the mic in your hand, we don't never use anything recorded, never will in terms of singers, with no tracks, no, nothing like that. All background vocals performed by the background vocals, which is what we do. When we're not singing a lead song, then we're on in the back there at the vocal tree, as they call it, our vocal tree of background vocals. So that was one thing Paul O'Neill was always like, no, we're not, everything's real. So if somebody does have an issue, everybody knows it because they're not really singing that higher. You know, we got our replacements. We know where everybody's going, and we have to pull the razzle dazzle and come around and cover. But we've been pretty dang lucky as far as that's concerned. But I didn't even name my favorite food. You know what? I'm going to say, have you been to that Italian pizza restaurant? What's that place called in Disney?
In Epcot?
I believe so.
Via Napoli? Yeah.
If you eat that pizza and afterwards you don't say that pizza is your favorite food, I don't even know if I can help. That kind of like, I love that pizza right there.
Yeah.
But I like pretty much everything. But in sushi, you know, while training and stuff like that, I just want to keep it light. But okay, what is Zach's favorite? Oh, my favorite ride. This gets into my question for you. I could probably keep it to a few because I know you guys are staying up late. But
we're good.
We're good.
We're good. You can literally just say, all right, guys, I gotta go. And we're like, okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Right now, I think Guardians of the Galaxy, that is an amazing ride right there. And you know, Tron, I'm all about getting the fast passes right now, or, you know, we're waking up at 6:30, whatever, putting it in. And I'm telling you what, I'm right there getting a fast pass to Tron and pretty much the two new rides. I mean, I'm like right there all the time. And I want the front seat. I want the front one on Tron. So I'm going to stand off to the side. You'll be seeing my cheating butt sitting over there, standing off to the side, waiting for that.
Love that.
Cosmic Rewind. Okay, being the ride name. And I don't know. It's just great. I mean, I like Space Mountain. It's and I've gotten to where I can actually learn how to look at where the track's going so I don't get jerked around quite as much. So I'm now keening with my keen eye here, and I'm leaning into it just like Tron. Now I got the Tron lean in perfect. I act like I'm on my motorcycle, and I'm going a lot faster than I normally go.
There you go.
So I'm just leaning into the. And what about the grip? What do y'all like better? You like the forward grip or the grip that's closer to you on Cosmic Rewind?
On Tron?
I'm sorry, Tron. That's right. Tron.
I think I'm closer.
That's a good question. I'm going to have to really pay attention, but I feel like I tend to go with the further one out.
Oh, you do? You like to be down lower?
Yeah.
That's fun. And Lawrence, what about you? You like a closer?
Yeah, I think I'm closer. So I'm
Me
up
too.
I think I'm up a little bit more.
We'll have to look. We have photo proof in our photo pack.
Right.
Yes. I rode the first time forward like you, Corey. And what I did, I found that the G's were keeping me. I could not raise up in certain areas due to the amount of G's that were on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it's not that was a huge problem. But I just felt like, hey, if you're down there, you're going to get G'd down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Whereas
you know what,
I get up with the one closer, I can start out up and I can do this number and lean into all the turn, but I do not get stuck down with G's just like that was the only thing I could probably say was an advantage. I think I'm just that's why I started riding it with the closer grips on Tron.
I think you convinced me now. I'm pretty sure that I grip the same way as you because when I ride, I'm live streaming and I have a chest harness on with a camera. So I need to show the audience what's ahead of me. So if I'm too far ahead, they wouldn't see it. So I'm pretty sure I'm on the close grip.
You're going to get stuck down on certain turns. I'm telling you, if you can push as hard as you can, you are not raising yourself up once that G level at 4 G's or whatever on the curb. I love the start out of the ride. Starts out great.
Mm-hmm.
Starts out with a bang.
Yeah.
But all right.
Catherine Severio wants to know quickly, do you prefer the Mickey ice cream sandwich or the Mickey bar?
That's a great question. And I've had plenty of both of them. I'll probably go Mickey bar.
There you go. There you go. Winner. Ching, ching.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's what I like.
Zach had the whole thing on this show In fact, it's in the opening of the show. So yeah, that's a whole thing.
That's right.
Yeah,
All right.
I complain. Let's see. Any more
So what I'm going to do is come in with my questions.
Okay.
All right.
These are easy anyway. Oh, I did want to tell you, I did the pass holder preview for Tiana for the Bayou Adventure. I like it. I think it's cool, and they got that extra dip in there. As soon as that extra dip, that little slight fall, I knew that was different immediately. Where'd that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
People were laughing because they thought I was stunned by that. I was not quite stunned. I just knew it was different. But anyway, good dropping. Yeah, I thought that the graphics are good and everything. I think the only thing I would have done was put animatronics on the frog at the very end. You know how you just got that frog there? But I think I might have made him where he goes, "Y'all come back now," or something.
Something, yeah.
And of course, I'll do the voiceover for that. Ever since I figured out how they did the lions in Lion King with the voiceover artists, you might have seen that video.
I haven't seen that.
It is very interesting. They use no real lions for any of that. That is all done by a couple of voice actors, mostly by one guy. I can't remember his name. And guess how he did it? They make these little trash cans that are the same as the metal trash cans. Those metal, the bang, bang, bang. You can, the like stupid symbol,
like from Stomp
that it makes. So they make these little ones just like that are like, the little, like that. He takes that trash can with no top on it, the steel trash can, and he's got that thing right here at the mic. He's going, and the reverb effect of the voice hitting the bottom of that can and coming back up at the mic sounds terrifying. That's exactly how they did it. If not for that trash can, you don't have that terrifying.
Wow.
Of course, it's ridiculous and not very terrifying at all.
Oh, I love the creation of sound, though, for sure. When I have time, that's my next project. Is I want to try to get into some voiceover and voice acting. And
you got you got a good low voice already.
Thank you.
The voice is there. It's very soothing, low, dulcet tones happening there. My voice is just kind of strange because it sounds like some like weird, like Southern dude with sort of a half high, half low voice, kind of doing strange stuff. So very hard for me to actually. You were asking, what do you do when you see yourself? I would rather hear myself singing than talking, because I'm like, who is that guy? He's like, he sounds like Minnie, sort of like he's not quite Mickey. No, but everybody told me I should be Mickey because I'm the same height as the height requirement for Mickey.
Oh, do you have small legs for Mickey?
Moves, and I really like everything he does. But all right, that was not a question. Okay. What's your prediction? I mean, what's going to happen with this 2025? 14 acres in 2025 Villains World.
Ooh.
What is y'all's predictions for what villains will have a good ride or what?
I haven't even thought about the detail of it because I'm still, I know it's blue sky. I think until D23 next month. I think at D23 we're going to hear some concrete.
That's part of Blue Sky, project. Okay.
So I haven't even thought about like what rides there would be and all that. Oh, that's a good one.
Is it going to be Scar? Will it be the Lion King? Will it be Scar on a horribly terrifying ride as that you are now running from that thing? As he's going, oh, I'm hungry.
And them all chasing. Oh man,
could be. I mean, he's a villain.
Disney
but I mean,
loves,
the stuff from. Is it going to be Frozen? Or I mean,
no. I think what Disney loves to bring back the Queen from Snow White in almost anything, right? Doesn't she turn up in most nighttime spectacular shows?
Yes.
Things like that. So maybe it's an intense Snow White ride.
Maybe somebody just mentioned Maleficent.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
maybe you encounter it's a dark ride, right? A dark ride where you encounter a lot of the different
Yes.
villains.
That'd be pretty cool. Now I'm excited to see if villains actually happen.
Yeah,
I'm very excited for that. All right. You talked about Blue Sky Project. Were they going to do something different with Encanto and Moana in regards to Blue Sky Project? The retheming?
So they've talked about Dino Land in Animal Kingdom.
Oh, that's right.
And they've talked about Beyond Big Thunder, but nothing concrete.
Really? Okay.
They talked about Coco could be part of the Beyond Big Thunder. I don't know. What are you hoping for of those?
Well, I'm when I think about the retheming of dinosaurs, I'm thinking Indiana Jones something.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fantastic because we have the Indiana Jones over there at Disneyland, and we don't have and that seems to be a good place to park it and get some of that same animatronic or same, mechanical things involved.
It's the same ride as Dino Land.
Yeah, so come on.
Yep.
Well, they said if they do an Indiana Jones ride in that building, it will not be the same. So they'll do whole new ride.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're thinking about getting away from Indiana Jones because they supposedly filmed the final movie. I don't know how that plays in. I don't know if that really.
Yeah.
I think they do plenty of stuff with stuff that still hasn't released a movie in 10 years. I don't know, but that could be a problem. I was hoping for that, but with this final Indiana Jones film that came out, I was like, I don't know. It would be good though, because I know how much I enjoy that bumpy old ride there at Disneyland. Psst, 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 psst. The air car.
It's rough. That ride is rough.
It's rough. It'll throw you flat out of there. I love that. And the ball comes rolling down the thing, and you're like, I'm going to be crushed. Oh, that just reminded me of something else. Rise of the Resistance.
Yes. That's
Do
not
you
even
love
right.
that?
It's
What's up, y'all? What about Rise of the Resistance?
That
is
that is a can't miss.
That is amazing.
I got to do it. So we went for the after hours, and it was I got through half the ride. We got up to the interrogation rooms, and then they shut it down. We had to go out the back.
I've been lucky that hadn't happened.
That one was not amazing. It just looks like a break room. You're just passing through corridors and break rooms.
Really? Okay.
Anything cool from where we were.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. So, but then we got to go on it again. So I got to do it 1.5 times. But that's probably the best attraction at the parks
in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
Wow.
There's just so many things to it. There's so many pieces.
Yes.
I mean, to be in that hangar blows me away every time. I try to show people when we're live. I show the camera. I bring the camera up to the ceiling, and I'm like, just so you all know, look at the scale of this thing. This thing is huge. I now know what it feels like to be in a hangar in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Man, no doubt. That room is amazing right there, and just the size of the that's
see
crazy.
The AT-AT walkers in
the
AT-AT. Even the TIE fighter hanging on the wall.
And the gun. How about that gun? I've been waiting for that thing to go boom and have a concussion back again. I don't know if it really has that.
Well, they worked in the beginning and they broke.
Like when it fires, like, doo, I think it does do that.
It did, but it broke. And they never fixed it. And I heard the same things happened on the West Coast too, right? I don't think they work on the West Coast either.
Oh,
wow, that's too bad, because I remember the first time it was probably a pass holder preview. And we've been pass holders since 2016. I went back and looked that up. So it gives you a little bit of different, as you know, a different perspective when you look at things, and
very true.
They've been doing us all right as far as having these previews. But yeah, the first pass holder preview, the gun did move, and I thought, wow. And that was then the next times I was in there, I was like, what happened? I'm pretty sure I saw that move. Thank you that's what I wanted to ask you guys. I was pretty sure I saw that.
Yeah, it did move. Junk Rocker just popped in.
Oh, yeah. And somebody asked me what my favorite Disney movie is.
Yes, Michelle Hollensteiner.
Oh, man. God, there's so many.
You guys are hitting Zach with some good questions.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Toy Story, is that Disney?
It's a good question. I get confused all the time. What is Pixar? What is Disney? What is Disney Pixar?
It is Disney, though.
But it is Pixar. It is
Disney.
part of Pixar. I do know that. It is part of Pixar.
So I'm picking out probably a couple of Okay, I liked Soul, that movie, and I think that's Pixar, maybe, right?
I feel like
is Soul or is that belong to somebody else?
I think Loris is going to look it up.
I'm going to look it up.
I could be off there.
Disney. You know, that's a good game, right? Disney and Pixar.
Yeah, because I'm saying Toy Story. How many have they had now? Toy Story 4?
Yes.
So Toy Story 3 to me was really a good one. I like that for some reason. But gosh, there's so many. Somebody said they had something about Sabotage and Disney together. They were happy to see that.
Yeah, there's a couple people that are big Sabotage fans and Disney fans.
And Disney.
How is this possible that Zach is on the show?
He's like, what is going on here? Yeah, everybody in the band knows I'm a huge Disney person anyway.
Nice.
I've worn stuff from the races up there to rehearsal. I wear like the stuff we buy, the swag that we get from the races, and sometimes I come up in rehearsal like that. They're like, what in the world? Yeah.
Yeah. How many people in the band look at you and go, don't you get sick of this stuff already?
Not really anybody. I mean, there's a couple other guys. Chris Caffrey, he likes Disney.
Okay.
A lot of the girls do. I think if they live near, close like we do, sorta. I mean, I'm only like 6.5 hours away from South Carolina where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So, but then again, you've got a lot of people who are living in New York. So they're more like going to Legoland up there or Six Flags. So they don't get to go to Disney World as much. And then they'd have to go all the way across the country, you know what I'm saying, to hit Disneyland. So
this is a good question. Melissa Winter says, have you ever been to the Osborne Lights, and do you think they should bring them back?
I have not. Have you guys?
Are you aware of them? Yes, we went, and it will never return in Hollywood studios. It's where Galaxy's Edge sits now.
Okay.
So that's when they had like New York City and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or whatever, the playground, all that stuff. Lights, Motor, Action. It was all in there. And I'll tell you, it was like being in a Christmas movie. I mean, lights from top to bottom on all these houses down multiple streets. And the lights were synced to music. So can you imagine? One
of the songs was TSO. So that's the same question.
They use TSO. Man, I've been at where they do the fireworks from time to time, or people show me at Christmas time where they play TSO in the park. They'll play 1224 or something like gosh, I don't know any number, couple or three songs. And they'll send it to me and goes, guess what they're playing right now over the speakers, and they'll just walk by a speaker, which are everywhere, and then I'll hear it and I'll be like, yay, they like us. Oh, and another point is Paul O'Neill, the guy, our founder.
Yeah.
He was a huge Disney person, mostly in terms of the fact that he studied Walt Disney's life. He really looked at Walt Disney. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That's great. He found Walt Disney to be super intriguing, and he was a huge influence on Paul O'Neill as well. A lot of people might not know. The stuff that, the stuff that Walt came against when he first came up with these ideas and the resistance that you get. And Paul always told us one of the big sayings coming from Walt Disney was, persistence overcomes resistance. That was a big saying. And he had a lot of sayings like that he told us about that came from him and his brother, Roy, Walt. And, it totally makes sense. He used to tell us stuff about, stuff like that all the time. So when I got all my books on Imagineering, some of the stuff didn't come as such of a, big surprise, because I had Paul O'Neill that I'd been working with since 92, who was already telling me stuff that he had learned that he was intrigued about, about Walt Disney. So, I mean, of course, being that he passed away in 1971, all of this was information, after his passing. And there's so much. It's like, wow, from 1955 to 1971, from the time you opened up Disneyland, and he didn't even get to see the opening of Disney World. There's so much information packed within that one man.
Yeah.
Good luck. There's stuff we still hadn't found. But he was always a huge influence on what, became TSO. A lot of people might not know that.
Wow.
Okay. I'll give you a couple more, and then you're allowed to go eat dinner.
Okay.
Zak Stevens is holding us up right now.
How about this? Rock and Roller Coaster. Also one of my favorite rides. They got a little retheme, and they're playing different songs now. And then depending on what car you get, you will look at the license tag, and that will, if you go to the sites where you can now reference what the song's going to be, you will know what song's going to play for you based on the license tag of the 5 different license tags that are available on the ride, 5 different limos.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And there's a 6th car, which is a maintenance car, which only goes on when they're doing testing and stuff like that, which plays a song that's different from the regular 5. My wife knows it, but I forgot. But yeah. Okay. And they redid Love in an Elevator, that old Aerosmith song?
Yeah.
That's now Love in a Roller Coaster.
Did they really?
They changed the lyrics to it, as I understand. So, love in a roller coaster, living it up when I'm going. Whatever. So that was one of the ones that I thought, loving it. Okay, they're going to have to change that a little bit. Wink, wink. But they still left Dude Looks Like a Lady in there.
Oh.
So I'll leave that one to you guys to figure it out.
Dude looks like a lady.
Hey. But I like Aerosmith.
Oh, and yeah, absolutely. My
ocean. I guess, wait a minute.
My boy's from Massachusetts.
That's right. Boston.
That's where I'm originally
Back
from,
in the Saddle, Sweet Emotion, Dude Looks Like a Lady, Walk This Way, and Loving a Roller Coaster. So
Loving a Roller Coaster. I want to get that one now.
Yeah.
A Mad.
Yeah, so Osborne.
He put a Mad Russian's Christmas. Okay, that was what was playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we still do that almost every show. Mad Russians. That seems to be in most every show we play, Mad Russians.
Yeah.
And that's dun 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 dun. Connected to what? Connected to what Sabotage song that was its precursor?
Cliff will know.
Somebody's
we just saw for the first time the brand new parade over at Universal Studios.
Oh,
the Mega Movie Parade.
Oh, I saw pictures of that.
Whenever you get to see it, the soundtrack is very much like a TSO kind of thing.
Really? All right.
I'm a movie nerd and all that. I could watch, an hour of just the opening logos of every movie company.
Yeah,
I love that. I love it. And I used to play a game all the time, like try to guess as quickly as I could, like which company it was. So they're taking the Universal music, as the Universal text comes across. They're doing that, but they've got like a rock beat to it.
Oh,
And
cool.
Yes.
so you'll have to check that out. I
Oh,
said to my son,
definitely, man. We got to get there. That's probably the next thing we're going to scope out is Universal. But I just wanted to let you know, somebody came on and guessed the song that it was the Sabotage song that is connected to, which was Hall of the Mountain King.
Yeah, that was
okay.
It had a video out there in 1987 on MTV. And I actually got on MTV quite a lot with Edge of Thorns. That was 92 because I'm the second singer of the band. John went keyboard. He's been keyboard vocalist. So he went producer, keyboard, producer when I came in. And then later on, we were both up there, which is seen as the biggest, wildest dichotomy of singers ever to do metal music. Because our voices are completely different. But yet, you know what? Somehow they still go together, which shows you that opposites can still be used. And, you get, having different, vocal flavors, stuff like that can mix in.
Yeah, you see that a lot in award shows, right? Like music award shows and all that. They'll put two unlikely artists together, and when they're done, you're like, wow, that was pretty amazing.
And that was what we did just in a single show because he sang so much stuff from the era, and I was a huge Sabotage fan myself. Like I was a fan of the band, and then to become the singer of that was like, it was just crazy. It was like the wildest dream ever. And then 8 months later, the single that we put out, besides being a huge fan of the band, then I go all over the country on tour, and they played that song. We had over 50 of the biggest rock stations in America played that song over 500 spins. 500 spins. 50 stations, Edge of Thorns. So I was all over the country, including my hometown, including Tampa. I couldn't go anywhere without hearing myself on the radio for probably about 6 months. It stayed. It had a lot of longevity. It stayed. And it was weird. Just to show you, we were at my mom's house a few days ago, and I was laughing at a comment. So they said I sound like a rocker. Okay. So we're at my mom's house for not the 4th, but a couple of days later, seeing my sister who lives in England, where she had to go fly back to England. She was here for the 4th of July. So we ordered some food. Kate did. And then from a place we love downtown in Columbia. Downtown Columbia is 5 minutes away from in West Columbia, where I'm from. So the people who delivered the food, they saw me out there talking to it. Is that Zak Stevens? So then I went, what? I really don't really get recognized like that all the time. So that was kind of surprising. And so her son, it was a lady and her son. So it turned out like he's a big metal fan, and he's 22. I got his age. Owen was his name. And so then we got to talking for a few minutes. She goes, gosh, the first time I saw you was on MTV in 92 singing, you had that song. And I went and I sang a little bit of it. And she goes, oh Lord, that's the one. I said, hold on, you didn't hear the chorus riff. No, I'm just kidding. But she's like, but people, it happened, it was a long time ago, but Zach, are you going to be playing in Albany? Yeah. I would, yeah, we play most of the tours, we play Albany, New York. So I'm going to say yes, but the dates come out in September, so you have to see, we have to check on the final list. It changes these days because, like I said, the music business is still in a major, but people might not realize it, major flux from the events of 2020. So
I have a question for you.
Changed our schedule out accordingly, and it has sent some people for a loop because of the routing. So, hopefully it's not going to be too crazy. Yes. Sorry, Corey.
Oh, it's okay. No, definitely finish. We love, listen, every time Epcot comes up with a new festival, it brings music. And we love these bands that come through. My wife makes sure she sees Boyz II Men. You can see them up close, and Tiffany, and just a whole slew of people we loved in the past. Was that something you would love to get involved in? And is the production just way too big to for that to even happen?
With what you're talking about at the Epcot stage? With what band?
Yeah, in America. Well, TSO, I guess.
Really, that would be probably logistically with all of the stuff they want to bring in to make it a TSO show. That might be not, that stage might not be quite big enough to hold, the stuff.
What you got going on? Yeah.
I know that Disney's production, they like to have their people, do the sound and that's good because I've seen a lot of great shows there. And the sound is great. I even saw the loudest band I ever heard there by far was a band from Central America, who came on one night, and we've heard all kind of rock bands, the Guess Who, all Journey, all kind of bands play there. But I didn't even know the sound system could go as loud as I heard this one band from oh my gosh, they are like a big band. What are the places that the famous baseball players are from? Besides like Puerto Rico, or like where's most of our
Venezuela?
No.
Let's figure that out.
Where the majority, I'd say, where most of our guys come from that play MLB that are from another country.
I was going to say Dominican Republic.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. Thank you. I just
big. Yeah.
Okay, this band is from the Dominican Republic. They get up there with this Latin percussion and all these horns and Latin percussion. That somebody could be naming the band right now. I just can't remember. But they started out, and wow, even my ears, and I've heard a lot, I was like, I didn't even know the system could turn up that much. I didn't even know that Disney would even allow a band to be that loud. I looked across the way and people were going, but it was really good. It's so clean. It's not like distortion where you got rock guitars like, there ain't no distortion. This is all like, just all kind of Latin percussion, cowbells going off, drummer, everybody rocking, guest singers. They brought in a couple of girl singers, guy singers. The guy that was the lead singer, I don't know the song, but wow. I was like, that system, y'all, can go so loud, it would blow your mind. If you didn't see that show, you have not seen the loudest show in Epcot. I was like going, wow. My ears had to actually get used to that. I looked at Catherine. I was like, well, I didn't bring the earplugs. I usually don't really worry about that here at this stage, but man, they let that thing get. And so for that reason, I thought that it was not the Disney people running sound because I didn't know they would run it that loud. But yet when I looked into it, it was the usual process. The sound men normally don't get to run the sound. I think they have to hand over the reins to the sound man at Epcot stage.
Yeah.
Do you have a thought of why you think that happened?
Somebody who loved Latin music or the stuff at that time, because they were like, man, but it didn't even approach. There was no distortion. It was just like pure. That's a lot of great sound system and a lot of watts happening at that. I mean, that's
I'm sure Disney spares no expense. Our friend Neil, he's a professional trumpet player, and he pointed to some speakers the other day to me. He's like, that's top quality right there. That's
yeah. It could be turbo sound, or it could be, could be any number of things. We have our sound system that we bring out with TSO is custom made just for TSO to the frequencies that we need. It's actually custom built. Our entire PA, they only take it out once a year. They bring it on that tour, but it's made just for us by this Claire Corporation out of Canada that runs our sound. So
Cliff says studio plans for the future.
Well, what I've got now is my band Archangel, the one that I have out of Italy, is going to be doing another record next year. So I'm going to do all the vocals in the beginning. It'll be the third one. No title yet. I think they'll release it later in the year. That's it for now, unless we hear something from Sabotage, but we'll see.
Before I forget, I wanted to mention too. We mentioned Cliff Flicks for you to check out for all the nighttime spectaculars. They're amazing. But I'm also a really big fan of. You see Kimberly Park World in chat, maybe. Park World Radio, another amazing one. If you're a lover of the parks, and it's an internet Disney park station. It's 24 hours of music from the nighttime spectaculars and the rides.
Oh,
24 hours a day. So
Park World Spectacular?
Park World Radio.
Park World Radio.
You can access that on the app Live 365.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I wrote that down. I'm writing
welcome.
down all kind of stuff. I'm trying to get all the stuff, and there's so much that we don't know, us regular Disney fans. But
yes.
But we were talking about watts. Guess what? I found out how many watts it takes to run the new Aerosmith for Rock and Roller Coaster. How many the system is to run all the new stuff, because the new cars that have the sound in them, they have 125 little speakers in them, and they got like 24 subwoofers.
Oh wow!
In each car. So now you're getting like surround sound blown out of there.
Nice.
And
now I can't wait to ride it again.
32,000 watts for the entire system.
That's crazy.
That sounds like what I heard with the band from Dominican Republic the other night.
Yeah. Wow.
That might have been all 32,000 watts right there. I was basically getting lifted up and levitated out of my chair. If anybody was there, I want to know if you guys thought the same thing. I was like, wow. That was a heck of a show. A lot of good energy. Oh, what's my favorite Madonna song? That's an amazing question.
I always gravitate back to Crazy for You.
That's a good one. Oh,
yeah.
I like the ballad, man. You like ballads? Oh,
I like ballads. Yeah, I'm a ballad guy. I'm a ballad guy for sure, especially your hair bands back in the '80s. You know.
I guess that you got that, which is a great one. I'm gonna say, "Open Your Heart to Me." Is that right?
Open your heart. Open your heart. Yeah.
I like that because it uses a wild, actually it uses a Japanese scale in the beginning of that song. A lot of people don't. Very strange, but
okay.
either that or one of those Mid-Eastern scale, but it has an exotic scale that song starts with. That I actually have my students listen to that song to get used to the scale before we attempt to have them, to perform the scale. Which you learn by having intervals, and you learn which intervals come. And if you know whether there's a half step coming or a whole step coming or a step and a half and all that junk, then you'll know where to go. It's not that really hard at all. I'd have you guys acing it in no time with Egyptian scales. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I want to thank you guys for meeting with me today. No.
Oh, yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
I got one more question. The first album I ever had as a kid, Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
I played it so much that the vinyl disappeared into the needle, and the stylus was the wrecker of all good things. But no.
Wow.
I had my little record player. And my mom, I think I was like 6 or something, or 5 or somewhere. And I had been stealing her records. So she got tired of that and gave me Country Bear Jamboree to get my hands off her, Beatles. I remember I think the final straw was that I stole Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And that was one of the ones that she didn't really want me to get my hands on. And I stole that. And I also stole Creedence Clearwater Revival Green River, which were not supposed to be stolen. So then what she do? She went out and bought me Country Bear Jamboree. So then I had to learn all those songs thousands of times over. So now when I go to, they redid it. And I guess my question was, did you go to see Country Bear Jamboree revisited or reimagined yet? Or
yes, I'll be live streaming that on Saturday on our channel. And they put one of my favorite songs, "Look for the Bare Necessities." That is
that's
part
right.
of it.
Catherine told me that, and guess what? I'm gonna give Kate some kudos for that. Yeah, that's
yeah. So we'll be seeing it. I
that
hear
was
the
a very
lines
good
are
rendition, by the
long,
way.
but they move quick. Oh, what's
Yeah.
that?
You sound good singing that. See, with your future speaking voices.
Thank you. I'll take any tips and
voiceovers.
encouragement I can get.
Hey, you and me both, but you're going to have probably a little more luck than me in the beginning because of your low dulcet tones. Like I want to do voiceovers too, but it's going to be a little bit strange. I'll probably have to be limited to like making very strange noises for like weird B-rated films and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I can make some really crazy noises, but it's just like I don't know where they'll be used at, but we'll find out. I'll have my agent. No, I don't know. Do you have an agent for that? I guess you do. But
you do.
You have a voiceover agent?
No, well, you should have one, but I don't yet.
Well, me either. We need to talk about where we're going to find this mystery person at.
Let's do that. Let's team up for this.
I need an agent just like you. Okay. And yeah, we pretty much went over all my questions.
Okay. Well, let's tell everybody one of the reasons why you're here. Talk about your wonderful fundraiser, your time with Run Disney, and the fact that you've already reached your goal.
Yes. So we were talking about before we came on, Lawrence and I, about we've been supporting the American Cancer Society for quite a long time because we had some bad run-ins with cancer in my family. I lost two uncles, two of the hardest to fight cancers that there are out there is what happened. It was esophageal cancer and pancreatic cancer. And so they're on the list right now with the ACS as far as the ones they're trying as hard as they can to go after. Had so much good luck with early detection with other cancers that 20 years ago were considered, this is crazy. And now some are absolutely beatable, caught in the early stages. So that's where most of the good work's gone. So I decided to go ahead and do a fundraiser for ACS, and then the people who would donate would therefore be sponsoring me in the Disneyland Halloween half marathon weekend, September 8th. I started my fundraiser. I didn't really decide to enter the race. I had been in the 10K because I'm running the 10K and the half marathon, but I had only signed up for the 10K because that's basically what all I've been doing so far with Disney through the years, 5 and 10Ks. But decided, you know what, I want to take it up a step and do this. But the registrations were already over, so the only thing left to do, they said, hey, we got some spots if you want to represent a charity. And I saw ACS on there and I said, oh man, I already do that. So this is going to be good. And I know that my family, friends, and people in the music business would probably be willing to be super generous and support it. So I went out on just my social media, and I started in June, and turned out I was the top fundraiser in June for everybody who across the country who's doing it this way for the ACS for the Halloween half marathon. So I said, wow. So that was a surprise that they told me that. And so they said, all right, keep going. Because I was only probably about halfway to the goal at that time of $1,850. So I just put a couple more videos out there and got a shirt that I just ordered that's going to be my workout shirt that has my own design, Zak Attacks Cancer, with a little bit of a Disney-esque, scary pumpkin design in there. And I put all the names of the people who donated are on my shirt, but I update it. So I'm going to have to go smaller, but I can get columns. This one I just ordered has 2 columns, but since then I've got like 2.5 columns of, names, and that's still going on right now. Anybody who donates anything, any amount. Why? Because any amount is vastly important, and it's so totally appreciated by the people at ACS that I've been working with. Amazing people.
Where can they go to donate?
I've got a link. I always say, there's a link below, and I think Lawrence.
I've have it in the chat.
Okay, thank you so much. There's a link there. It goes to my donation page. You'll see a picture of me on stage or whatever, and it's got my, and when that link is used, it comes directly. If anybody, any dollar amount, anything, greatly appreciated. We're still taking them because I still have up until the run. So I'm still coming up with ways to continue, even though we've exceeded the goal, which is amazing. And I can't thank everybody enough for that. All the people who supported me, just amazing. I've never really had anything like that happen before when I did fundraisers, but I can't, thank everybody enough for the generosity out there. It's been amazing. I have an app, which when anybody donates anything, it comes right to my email and app. And so I have your name, unless you said anonymous. I've had a couple of people that said anonymous for whatever reason, and okay, you're not, I'm not going to be publicizing you on the shirt, but the shirt is just for me to work out in. I just ordered my 2 of them to start, and like I said, I'm updating them as the names keep coming in. But that's my inspiration, is having these people on my back, because they had my back. Now they're literally on my back, and now I am able to look at those names every day before I go out, and that's the inspiration for my training. I want people to ask me about my shirt. They're going to probably see it out there at the park I run in. We got a lot of runners. They're probably going to go, "What's that?" Can't wait to tell you about it. You know me. Like, I'm not really one to be that quiet. But so I said, but I can't wait to have people ask me about it. And so that's it right now. I told the people, the donors, that if you want to get a hold of the shirt at the end, like right after the race or whatever, when I get back, all they have to do is contact me, and I can get them on there. If they want to have it with their name on there and get a shirt, we can make that happen. Right now I'm just training in them. And I was going to check. I was telling Lawrence earlier, I wanted to check and see. Oh yeah, there's already been, I think I already got somebody else that donated during this podcast. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much anyway. I love the show. And talk about when the starting music starts, y'all, the splash stuff you have that comes on before your show. Oh, I love that.
Oh, great. It looked like you were enjoying it. Yeah.
We just went up. I was, it's at 2312. So somebody else has donated. So gosh, I guess I can just go, check out and see who that was. Hey, Lawrence. Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, thank you so much, man. You just put me way over the top.
You're welcome. And anybody in chat, share out the link for Zak's donation page. Make sure to check with your employers, because your employers sometimes will double your donation. So make sure to do that as well.
Gosh, thank you so much, Lauren. And you're exactly right. Employers double them. They're tax deductible. So make sure you keep the receipt. You can get mailed a receipt. And they usually double up on it, because that's what they did with mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll have multiple copies. Give your tax guy or tax people or tax ladies or whoever does your taxes out there. I happen to have the same old guy that I've had since 92. And he's still in Florida, because I lived there then. So I've never, I have to say, so that's good. It works out good. Yeah, tax deductible, could have the employer match, but I've had so much. I'm just so glad that I did that. I mean, I'm sponsored, man, for the half marathon. So all I got to do now is just continue to put in the work. I got very important couple of months of training coming up. I started in the beginning of this month. So it's good for everything. It's motivation for me, especially. We look for things, musicians that have been in the business this long. We need everything we can to keep in shape. And I can't think of a better thing to do to inspire me to do all that. And it's a win-win. And everybody's done me so right. And I just really, really appreciate all y'all.
Oh, glad to help where we can, for sure.
You're on the T-shirt, Lawrence. So now on the reorder, you get to go on there. And yeah, so gosh, it's just been so much fun. I think that, oh man, guess what? There's been
some more.
I get emails. So actually there's 2 more. Golly. Did I get lucky or what? I got all my questions answered about anything I ever want to know about Disney. I get to come on you guys' show, and I get more people donating. Oh, you're like, oh my God, I'm blown away. I will be reaching out just to let everybody know. I'll be reaching out to everybody who donated and personally thanking them. I've done every one.
I'll save you some time. One of them was me, so
you're welcome. Hey, Corey, I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for being here too.
So much. Yeah, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again soon. Thanks for answering my questions and the good information going back and forth. I love the show, and you guys
I just want to say why I know Zach and his wife as much as I do. So in 2019, we were heading to the show to see TSO. We were taking Finley, who at the time was about 10 months old. So we're in this fan group on Facebook, and I posted, hey, she's 10 months old. We're taking her for the first time. Obviously, we have noise canceling headphones. Is there anything else that we should think about? Anybody ever taken the child this young? And there was this one guy in there, and he lit me up. How could you take your child that young to a concert? You're terrible parents, blah, 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 blah. And on the way to the concert, I get a message from this lady named Catherine, and she's like, hey, don't pay any attention to that. I heard he's already been moved out of the group or banned from the group, blah, blah, blah. Well, Catherine is Zach's wife. And so I'm messaging with her back and forth during the show. Sorry, Zach, I wasn't paying attention to you apparently. And,
that's all right.
And I'm like, how are you, so involved? And she says, well, my husband's in with the show. And I was like, oh, who's your husband? She's like, Zak Stevens. I'm like, what? Like, he's on stage right now. And so this was back when they were doing meet and greets after the show.
Yep.
And everybody in that band is just amazing. Jeff and Chris and Joel and all the ladies, Natalia remembered Catherine because she was pregnant the year before, and she remembered Catherine. And then we go with little Finley, and so everybody in the band is just amazing. So it's been great knowing these folks for sure.
Gosh, that's amazing. You know what? And that story, it sounds like it was just yesterday. I remember Catherine telling me this exact thing as it went down. I went, well, I'm so glad you jumped in there, man, and did that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We see kids all the time out there. They might have little, they might have the little things on, or they might have little, and we see tons of kids enjoying it, which is like, hey, my youngest, who's 21 now, going to be 21. When she was little, she was very sensitive to noise and stuff like that. And we would go places and make sure she had her little muff, ear muff things on.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of just goes by the kid. We knew that she didn't like loud noises and loud concerts. Now she's the biggest rock. I mean, the kind of music that I don't even know what they call it. It's half clean vocals, half like screaming vocals. And it's like, I got her list of bands. I mean, and they're really good. Like, at least she listens to music that's very involved, highly technical, almost metal, post-hardcore or post-something core.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know all the names of everything out there. I know that's ridiculous.
Is it American music?
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
It's not.
My daughter's into some of that too, and I feel like some of it's come from like an Asian influence too. There's some kind of rock there.
Well, it could. Now she goes and watches all kind of shows now, and goes to the meet and greets of her favorite band. And she got posters and people sign stuff all the time. She got pictures with them. It's still limited as far as how close they get to people, because I mean, that stuff's still taking tours out. I don't know, we may come back with it. Who knows? Or they might say, you know what, we don't want to take any chances. We don't, you know what I'm saying? People go down, and you still can't be so sure about what's going to be out there. It may take a little bit longer, but I don't know what exactly it was, post something core. But anyway, I just remember that story, Lawrence. I don't know why, like it was yesterday. And I was like, thank you so much for doing that. There is no reason for all that junk.
Yeah.
Any kid can see the show. Thousands of kids have seen it. And all you do is get to know what their level of, what they can stand as far as noise levels and go with it.
Yep.
So I'm so glad. Now we're going to see her for decades to come.
She's been at every show since then. She hasn't missed a show since she's been born.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. The kids, mine grew up going to TSO shows too. Now my oldest one likes country a lot more. And yeah, I think it's like country and whatever that whatever hardcore or post metalcore or whatever it is, is the way of the game now. But that's cool. And even one of the bands that she likes, the drummer is the lead singer and still does all that. Still does wildest drumming you've ever seen. Super hard stuff, very difficult, and just going with vocal style, clean, screaming, clean, going nuts. So I say at least you got stuff that I look at and go, I don't think I don't know if I could do all that all at once,
right.
Me being a drummer as well. So it's really challenging, but man, thank you guys so much. I've had such a great time, and let's do it again sometime. And I'll come with another action-packed round of only 4 questions max.
Okay.
Sounds good. We'll do it.
But I'll look deep, and I think that mine were pretty good. That's just stuff I get from reading the boards, just figuring out what people's opinions are about it. But yeah, we're in tune with all that stuff real closely, and yeah, we're looking for anything new, and I can't wait to 2025. But yeah, you got that big conference coming up.
Yep.
So
we'll be covering it.
Good. I'll be tuning in and trying to learn as much as I can. But gosh, thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough. You didn't really have to donate like that. I really appreciate it.
Right back at you. We're real appreciative that that you wanted to come on, and we had such a great time. And it's definitely a memorable podcast for us. Yeah, me too. I totally appreciate it. It's the first one I've ever done that was like totally Disney oriented. I love it. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Lawrence asked me, and I was like, I'm doing it. How often do you come to Disney World?
Well, I'll get down there about 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like that. Closer.
If you want some time, let Lawrence know or something, and maybe we can hang out at Magic Kingdom or something like that sometime.
Yeah, you guys were talking about something.
Oh, Jollywood?
But that I think I'm on tour for that.
Oh, okay.
During that time frame.
When Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party as well.
That might be a possibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay in touch with Lawrence about it every time. But I'll just give him a heads up right before we come down every time.
Yeah, let him know.
Are you in Carolina, Corey, or no?
Oh no, I'm here. I'm in Florida. I'm in Disney 2 to 3 times a week.
All right, you're Orlando.
Yeah.
Good.
So
we're about the same. Lawrence is probably only about what are you, 2 hours further away? 2.5?
Yeah, about 2.5.
You're in Raleigh?
Yeah, because I have family in
3
Blackpool.
hours.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that would be amazing. We'll put that together. And Cliff came on again. Cliff Licks there with the show you guys were telling about. He actually donated too. I want to say tell him thank you very much. I saw him flash up there earlier, and there was a couple of other people too, but I'll get to you. I'll be finding you here, and that'll be my night's work. I try to look on Facebook, like, you know what I'm saying? If you happen to be a friend, then all right, fine. If I don't, then I'm still having good luck looking up people. I don't know if it's just my ability to Google people and find out information. Hint, hint. No.
Yeah.
I usually guess pretty good. If I don't, they go, I didn't really donate, but that was a nice heartfelt message. No. But luckily, everybody I found so far, it has been them.
Good.
Oh, good. Nice.
I'm not calling them at home during dinner or anything, but I am finding them on Facebook mainly. And if I run out there, I'll look elsewhere, like Instagram. I don't know, but
Lawrence,
gosh, thanks so much, guys. I'll be in touch.
Definitely
sounds good.
Go to the next thing because we got pass holder preview is going to be coming up. It's going to be coming up for sure early next year for something, for stuff related to the villain world.
Yep.
Maybe.
Test track will be one.
That's right. And test track. That was another thing we didn't get to hit on today that I was going to ask you guys about. It's still sponsored by Chevrolet. They did a complete, that has been reworked completely. That's been reimagined.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So now that's going to be interesting how they put all that together, which I enjoyed test track over the years, going and building the car and blah, 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 and getting in there. And that was neat. But I'm glad they're redoing it. And it was interesting to see that Chevrolet is still the sponsor. So we'll take it from there. And maybe you're right. I think that might be our next preview. And we'll be talking about seeing you guys on that journey.
Absolutely. Yes.
I like it.
All right.
All right. Great having you. Go have some dinner. I mean, that's what's in my future for sure.
I'll be doing the limited sushi / running diet where you have to eat sushi while running. No, I'm just kidding. Not a good idea. Not in this heat.
Run while you eat donuts. That way you can work off the calories at the same time.
Oh, man.
Zach, thank you again for coming on. I did put the link again in the chat for Zach's site, so make sure to head over there. And
it's already been huge.
Hopefully, we can get Zach back on the show maybe right before he starts touring and practicing for this year's show.
Yeah,
we know tickets come out in September, I believe.
Yeah.
So maybe right around then, we'll have him on to talk a little bit more about TSO.
That'd be amazing.
Sounds awesome.
I promise I'll keep more to the. I will definitely keep more to the format next time. I completely destroyed the format this time.
Not at all. Not at all.
No format.
I know. I'm just kidding. Hey, thanks, guys. I will talk to you guys real soon, and we'll see you real soon.
All right.
Sounds good. Zach. Take care, Zach. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Got it.
All right. We want to welcome or thank. I can't keep track with this guy, but he comes and goes. But, blast the chat for our Disney World Fix. He's a new member. I'm a member. I'm not a member. I'm not a member. We love you, Aaron. I have to give Aaron a hard time, but we appreciate that for sure. Blast the chat for Aaron and our Disney World Fix, and I guess I should say Roxy as well. Mm-hmm. And he upgraded to the Magical Express, so we appreciate that for sure. So, great to see everybody's enthusiasm in chat tonight. Who's watching live and listening live? He made it easy. We get a lot of these guests that just make it easy. I think it was his show. He took the show over today, which is fine.
Yeah,
which is fine.
No issue there. I mean, I'm good with that.
That's the best guest, right? They're offering tons of information, and people aren't watching this particular podcast to listen to us.
No.
So
no. And this isn't the first episode where people have not watched the show for us. They're not watching.
Yeah, let's keep getting those guests that will just continue to talk. It's amazing. It's amazing. Cliff Licks is going out of his mind, and I love it. He says, "Hey, friggin' amazing." So that's pretty awesome.
And thank you and everybody that added to the show with their questions for Zach. That just it's again, this show is for you guys, and you add to it probably way more than Corey and I do. So we definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely. CB Disney Fan says, "What an amazing podcast." And our Disney World Fix is looking for his credit. Those get updated. You'll see it on Saturdays.
We don't do them during the show, Aaron.
Exactly. Blast the chat for Cliff Flicks as well for that $10 super chat.
Super chat.
He says, "Amazing show, guys." You never know which way a show's going to go when you bring on a guest. Our format. I mean, we come with structure. there are questions there, so there's no quiet time.
Right.
They're there as a safety net, but I will tell everybody, I don't think we ever get to more than 25% of our questions.
No.
And that's the magic of the art of having a guest.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I was starring the questions that people were putting in chat.
They had great questions.
They had great questions. We had a ton of questions that that we had queued up just in case and didn't even need to touch them.
We can save if we even with this guy. I don't even think we need to bring the questions back again. But we've got I was going to start way back in Kentucky and let's go from there. You went from doing plays to now I discovered rock and we're going to do this whole evolutionary thing and bring us to current. So we got a whole another show.
Yeah,
we can do that for.
And Cliff had asked, does he play any instruments? I know that he obviously sings. He also plays guitar and he plays drums. But in TSO, I think he just sings. I don't remember seeing him play guitar in TSO. But on his page, I've seen him play guitar and play the drums.
Blast a chat for our Disney World fix for that $1.99 super chat that says, "You gave me a hard time. Gotta dish it back."
Super chat.
So, I love videos, so I'm going to show this one. This was that incident that I was talking about with Finley going to TSO. A quick video of that. So, don't tell me.
That was like riding a bull. How long could you stay on Finley? And I think it was more than 8 seconds. That kid, super adorable, by the way. OMG, those cheeks.
Yeah. But that was at 10 months old, rocking out to TSO. Don't tell me that she didn't have a good time. And like I said, she hasn't missed an episode or a year yet. So.
What made you think that she would enjoy it even a little bit? Like, was she already like that at home to music? And you were like, I think she's going to be right for this concert.
Honestly, I don't even think that crossed my mind. Catherine can answer for her. I think for us, it was, we knew that this was going to be our tradition because we had already done it 2-3 years in a row at that point. And so it was going to be our Christmas tradition. Hopefully she enjoyed it and it wasn't too much for her. And I mean, there were a ton of times where I would look over and she's just mesmerized by all the lights and the lasers and the fire and everything. So, and obviously the music. I mean, that's her dancing. That's not Catherine, picking her up. That's straight up Finley dancing. So yeah, she loves it. Absolutely loves it.
That's awesome. Let's take a quick listen to our sponsor.
Looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard? Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC. He is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the vacation home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with him today. Your dream home is just a click away.
And, every time I play that, I go, I haven't recut that thing. CelebratingFlorida.com is where you want to go to buy your next home. Celebrating.com. CelebratingFlorida.com. I'm going to get fired.
By season three, I want you to have that promo done.
You and I talked about something today. Not every day, but when I've gotten the brightest ideas for the channel, they just pop in my head, and then I have to tell somebody. And a lot of times, you are the one I tell, especially when it has to do with the DIZPod. Are we secure enough yet to say what we talked about, or yeah?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I can safely say that this will be most likely our final DIZPod on Living in Diz on the channel. Bum, bum, bum. We are moving it to its own channel. So we're going to need all of you to subscribe. Anybody listening now, watching now, and anyone on the rewatches, will be pushing it in the parks so we can get ourselves up to 500 subscribers. And we'll have to get that 4,000 watch time too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We'll get there. The podcast doesn't really make money anyway. I lose money.
Yeah.
So for now, that is not the long-term plan. We want to at least cover the bill,
Right.
So, but I think it's ready to stand alone on its own. I think everyone that follows will just do that. We'll just go over, and once they know we're over there, they'll do it. And you and I can talk about logistics, like how can we even still connect it, or what we can do.
We can.
Yeah. So just going to a different channel. That's all. Same everything. Nothing will change.
Yeah. Just going to break off a little bit.
Yeah. But then the thumbnail. I think we should change the thumbnail. I think it's time to change the thumbnail. I've been doing a lot of studying on thumbnails. So time to revamp that thumbnail.
All right. Season 2.5.
I know. It's too long to wait. We're still 6 months away from the end of this thing.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
All right. Well, maybe we can work on that one together.
Roll on.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the channel? It's going to be the DIZPod.
Yep.
Yeah. With that DIZPod logo. So it'll be really easy. So it's not even created yet. So as soon as I get that created, it'll be good. It'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
So we should it's only if I have time to do it before Saturday, I'll probably make it a priority. I mean, I don't even know how it doesn't take that long to create a YouTube channel, right? It's been a long time since I've done that.
No, it can happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I might even be the one to do it. Maybe it's you. I don't know. But we'll get it done. Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll create it on my side, and then I think I just have to throw a logo up and some design, and it's good to go. The question will be, do we leave everything here? Can we leave? We can leave everything here from the past, but will we drag everything over there too? Like, is that even possible?
It is
for you too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Just like we did with the audio podcast.
Okay.
And pulled it over to Living in Diz. We can pull these over there as well.
We probably should.
Yeah,
we probably should. Very nice. Catherine says she might subscribe. And I know might let you
She was upset that I held it from her. She said, "What? You held this from me?" Like, this was literally like
Listen, sister, this was discussed in midday today.
Yeah.
And then boom, we had to get on the podcast. Tammy knows about it though. I shouldn't have said that. I did tell her because I talk her ear off anyway. I came in and okay, I'm going in. So Catherine didn't get the inside scoop. Well, she says she might subscribe. I might let you hang out with us in the parks next time too. Well, have we said it all and done it all?
What a show. What a show. That was a lot of fun. And I didn't even wear my TSO hat. It was right here.
Oh, look at that.
It was right
Look
here.
at that. Very nice. So, no new announcements. We are live in the park tomorrow night, Epcot. So that brings Luminous and the World Showcase walkthrough and lots of fun. We'll see what we can do for rides and maybe find a snack. I've been gravitating to Germany lately. There's a little window back there in the back that sells a really, really good dessert. I can't remember what it's called. I can never remember what it's called. Is it the bread? Something bread? And I don't know how long they're open. But Corey, you weren't supposed to say that. She might make you another shirt. I haven't had a shirt. She's in breach of contract. I haven't had a shirt in months, but I don't complain.
It has been a while. It has been a while.
She needs a new sewing machine, is what she told me.
Lawrence
has a new job.
That is true on both accounts. That's true.
Yeah. So
it's true. And there'll be no sewing this weekend because we are traveling up to New York. So so I won't be I may not be in chat on Saturday.
Oh no.
Yeah, we'll be up in New York. I forgot to tell you. Surprise.
Woo. Clifflick says, great show, guys. Thank you all for watching tonight. We do it live because we do it for you. We love all of you, whether it's supporting the DIZPod or supporting Living in Diz, for sure. In the park tomorrow night. And for further schedule listings, always go to livingindiz.com. There's a bunch of great stuff over there. And we're hanging out with our guy Theo on Saturdays.
Nice.
At Magic Kingdom. So, should be good.
Nice. Well, I'm going
to
let I'm going to let Zach end the show.
All right, Zach's going to take us out. We love you all. We'll see you tomorrow night.
And now the time is gone. 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 And now the time is going on. The world is running as we might be. On his passing, strangers greet on every street. The sun and breezes, goodwill everywhere. It's Christmas in the air.
Living over any allowed to come out of hiding.